So you already have your ITX build, you've been searching for months and you got the perfect motherboard, the perfect case, it's all up and running, you know, the fashionable small form factor computer. And then someone comes along and shows you this? So what is this device and who is it designed for? Mini PCs are not new to the computer industry. They are mainly used for office work because they can be placed where a full desktop will just not fit. The trend of small form factor computers is getting more and more popular. The aesthetics in technology, where smaller is considered better, can be beneficial, while you value portability and you don't want a labyrinth of cables lying around. However, small form factor computers, and especially mini PCs, do come with a trade-off. They sacrifice the power of a full-sized desktop machine and may not be beneficial for hardcore gamers. To establish what computer is good for you, you have to answer a question. What do you really do on your PC? And what is your workflow? AsRock DeskMini X300 is a refresh of the A300. Both products are very similar, small and compact. The hardware is exactly the same, but they have a different BIOS. Build quality is very good, and you can get them with a few accessories. As standard, the device comes with a heatsink, power supply and some cables. You can get an RGB strip if you're more gaming oriented. More on that later. Access to all the components is easy and the whole motherboard slides out on a rail system. The motherboard is an STX form factor. It supports 2 laptop-size slots for RAM, so you can get dual-channel memory for increased performance. RAM speed may not be the fastest, as it tops out at 3200 MHz, but you can use up to 64 gigs of RAM in this Mobo. I'm sure you noticed that this board does not have a PCIe slot for a dedicated graphics card. That's one of the trade-offs. You can't use a beefy GPU to run your AAA games. Due to its form factor, the DeskMini X300 supports AMD AM4 APUs that have an integrated GPU. The top-of-the-range APU that you can use in this motherboard is the Ryzen Pro 4750G. It's an 8-core, 16-thread APU that, in my opinion, will be more than enough to satisfy your daily tasks and activities, including some light gaming. The connectivity is somewhat limited. You get good display output options like HDMI, DisplayPort and VGA, but you only get 2 USB ports at the back and 2 at the front. Sure, you can use a USB header and add 2 more USB ports to the side of the device, but this accessory is not included in the box. If you don't need a dedicated GPU for your competitive gaming, this X300 is a good choice, especially with the 8-core Ryzen APU. I will be using this device as my home server, with the Athlon 3000G APU installed, along with 8 gigs of crucial memory and 2 2TB NVMe drives. On top of that, if you really need more storage, the Asrock X300 allows you to install 2 2.5-inch SSDs directly behind the motherboard. If you really need wireless connectivity, the X300 has a separate PCI Express slot for a fast Wi-Fi card. Here you can see a comparison between the Asrock X300 and my previous server that I considered for a long time to be a small form factor. Well, not anymore. Size difference is massive, and the only downside is less USB ports, no dedicated GPU and no multi-channel audio. Heck, you can even do some minor overclocking on the X300 if you really need to. For any office work, home server or media center, the X300 is a perfect solution that is upgradable and very portable. With the Ryzen 4750G, I suspect that it would handle light video editing and light gaming as well. I would not recommend this for Adobe After Effects because the software uses a lot of VRAM and you just don't get that with Ryzen APUs. Overall, this device is very compact, very nice, and I like it a lot. I will be using it as my daily driver, as a server, not as my main PC rig, because I'm doing lots of editing in Premiere Pro and After Effects and I really need a dedicated GPU. However, for the majority of tasks, writing emails, web surfing, doing most of the things that I do on the internet and on my computer, like 90% of the time, this form factor and the connectivity that it supplies and even the Athlon 3000G APU is sufficient for me. Thanks for watching. My name is Michael. See you in the next one.